Here from transformationstm.com, and we are most certainly living in very, very interesting times. So in terms of what I do, many of you know the kind of esoteric side, let me put it that way. But there's the other flip side, which many of you won't know about because it's not something that necessarily comes up in conversations and what I'm doing here in terms of the transformation stuff. But there are the kind of the two sides to Marilyn. So one of the sides in terms of kind of what I do and kind of how I work, and let me just pull that up because that's going to make it easier for you to see, is one of the things that I kind of have been doing for, it feels like forever, 17 years ago, before it was popular, before people even knew what the term was. A big part of what we were doing was actually having to educate people around what it meant. But I've been a flexible working implementation consultant since 2003. And what that means is going into organizations. And I started off mainly working with central and local government. So places like, we did a big installation for DFT, the Department for Transport, also worked with a number of local authorities around London, London authorities, of course, we're in London. And that was going in, and that was enabling the staff to work flexibly, work remotely, work from home. And remotely means also work from other locations rather than just being kind of tied to one desk. So that might be around the country, for example. And it was everything from getting the workspaces right, so collaborating with builders and architects and ergonomic designers so that you're redesigning the whole workspace, sometimes ripping down walls and rebuilding offices, right through to the side where you're briefing managers, staff, the CEOs about how to actually work from home. And also, which for me was an important part of it as well, is the psychological side about how do you actually work effectively and efficiently from home. And a big part back in those days, because keep in mind 17 years ago the iPhone didn't exist, we didn't all have smart tablets that we were running around with, so the technology piece was a really big part of those whole programs as well. So a lot that goes just the word flexible working sounds very straightforward now, or you're just going to work from home, but there's a lot more that kind of sits underneath that sort of dynamic. I myself have been working from home since the year 2000, and I know a lot of people have, and just because you work from home, that doesn't mean you work efficiently from home. But I've been, doing that from the year 2000. I also, in terms of my coaching and therapeutic work and even executive coaching for some of the organizations, I've been doing that since 2005. In terms of working with clients remotely. So not this morning, it was different time zone, but yesterday one of my clients is based out in Australia. So for me it's early in the morning, for them it's late at night. And the reason that came about, and I'd love to speak to her again and thank her, it just so happened that somebody phoned me up and said, I'd love to do a breakthrough session. I've just been reading your article in Psychology's magazine. It's amazing. I was like, yeah, sure. Where are you based? And she said, I'm in Birmingham. Now, she had an American accent, but London is a very eclectic city. So I said, oh, brilliant. I said, there's a straight train that goes from Birmingham to Watford Junction. There was the other pause, and she says, Birmingham, Alabama. I was like, oh, in the United States. I was like, oh. And she says, do you work by phone? And in those days, Skype wasn't what it is now and all that sort of stuff. And I said to her, look, I said, I see clients face to face. I said, however, here's what we're going to do. Number one, we're going to break the breakthrough sessions down. And again, that was the kind of catalyst for me not always insisting on doing the one-day breakthrough session where you come in at 10, you go out at 5:30, boom, your life has changed. And that was one of the reasons why they thought, actually, it works when you break it down as well. So I said to her, what we're going to do, we're going to do the whole breakthrough session, but we're going to do it as a series of 2 to 3 hour blocks. And the time of those blocks will depend on where you're at and how much you can take in one go. And I said, look, you're going to pay what you regularly pay for a breakthrough session. And if it doesn't work to my satisfaction, I will give you a refund. To this day, one of the best breakthrough sessions I've ever done, and one of the best timeline therapy sessions ever. And that blew my mind, and thankfully then opened me up to a whole different way of working. And so I've been working in that way since 2005. And at the moment, if you're watching this in real time, it's 2020. I've also been designing and developing and running kind of online e-coaching programs and online programs and all sorts of wonderful things. So you guys who follow my e-newsletter will know about the technology. And I've been doing that. The first e-coaching fully automated e-coaching program I launched was in 2013, February 2013. And I've been kind of running video webinar workshops, for a long time. It's taken a while to find the tech. I've now got a platform that I absolutely love, which is fabulous. And I also launched my online expo platform in 2019, and that recreates the expo conference big meeting scenario. So you've got your main stage, you've got your smaller breakout rooms, you've got your sort of AI powered speed networking, one-to-one video networking, where you can exchange your virtual business cards if you both want to, do that. It's also got the sponsor booths if you've got sponsors for your event. And you've got the reception room if you're ever wondering about going, oh, where am I? What am I doing? And so that launched last year. And this was well before, of course, any of the news broke about the coronavirus, well before flexible working was on everyone's lips. And now all of that has just kind of come together in one great big, oh my God, we need to do this. So, people have been asking kind of tips, etc. Now, some of the tips I have shared them. Actually, I was just saying in another Facebook Live, this is so out of date. I only did this a couple of weeks ago, and the number of media pieces I've done since then has just kind of So I'd have to redo this because they won't all fit on there. But last week I did an interview with BBC Radio 5 Live where I talked about some tips for flexible working. So I'll put the link to that underneath this video, and it stays live for 28 days. So if you're watching this in real time, I think you've got 25 days or thereabouts to listen to the one I did last week. And I did an interview with them a couple of weeks prior, also talking about flexible working, remote working. But what I thought I would do this time is just share with you one of my tips for working efficiently and effectively from home. And one of the things I would say that gives you a sense of clarity, both you and your employer, is scoping the work. So having clarity about what it is you're going to do, what is required, and what's your measurement criteria for when that's done. And I would say that's really important, because if you say, right, I know that by the end of today, XYZ needs to be done. When you get XYZ done and completed, you can then breathe a sigh of relief, give yourself a pat on the back, a high five, and go off and do whatever it is you're going to do. Because one of the things that happens is, if you're not used to working at home, you don't always have the off switch. And that's where you can keep going and keep going and just kind of wear yourself out, really. And so I would definitely say have clarity on what you need to do, know what your benchmarks are, know what your kind of completion points are, and then kind of stick to that. If you finish and you make a decision that you want to do a bit more, make it a conscious decision. Don't just kind of go, oh my God. You say, right, I've done what I said I was going to do, completed what needs to be done. Do I want to continue? Yes or no. But if you feel that you've done enough, then my suggestion is okay, great, move along and go and do something for yourself. So eat, have your water, some movement, some exercise. I know at the moment, if you're watching this in real time, restrictions are coming in now about movement. Other countries have already completely shut down. We haven't yet done that in the UK, but of course, I don't think there'll be many people heading to their local gym. And so I'd say this one about getting up from your desk and moving and keeping the blood flowing, keeping things circulating, is going to be really, really important as well. Those of you who follow me, I'm the fan of the hashtag dance break. That's always a fabulous way to keep things moving. So that's also one of the things that I would suggest. So those will be a couple of my tips for keeping things moving and all of that sort of stuff. If you kind of keep in touch, what I'm going to do at some point, I'll put them on the blog. So that's marilyndevonish.com, because people are saying, where can they find links to the articles and all the rest of it? Now, the one I did for PsychReg, that was about flexible working. One of the articles I wrote for People Management magazine, that was about flexible working as well. Ironically written before all this stuff, was written before all of this stuff happened. Should have a longer piece coming out with the Huffington Post soon. I did a telephone interview with them also about flexible working. And I've got something coming out in the Homeworker magazine in a couple of weeks' time as well, again around flexible working, also talking about the technology side of things and what can actually support you in being able to work remotely, and also to keep in contact with people when you're in self-isolation. So if you want to keep tabs on that, easiest way to do it is to join my e-newsletter list, because I said, you know, I do a summary of everything that's going on there. You'll find a link to do that on my main website, which is www.transformationstm.com. Trance is TRANCE, formations F for Freddy, so FORMATIONS, TM is in trademark, so transformationstm.com. If you're watching this about flexible working, the transformation site is my more esoteric stuff. And what I will probably do, just to put it all in one place, because normally it's kind of more recommendation, word of mouth, etc., rather than something that's kind of advertised, if you want to put it that way. But what I'll probably do is just put a very quick website together for the flexible working stuff as well, so you can find everything in one place. And any questions, any queries, you can email me. It's Marilyn, MARILYN, at transformationstm.com. So that's how to get hold of me. But I will put a blog together, and that's marilyndevonish.com, and Devonish is DEV for Victor, ONISH. So I'll put a blog together with all of the magazine and media links, and some of them have been on different subjects. So, but you know, I'll make it clear kind of what you're clicking on. So that's it, really. That's my tip, my flexible working tip. And also, for those of you who missed the webinar, that's the contact information for Dr. Margot. If you wanted to get in touch and get that, you know, watch the previous webinar, definitely recommend it. And also if you wanted to get hold of her with regards to that fact sheet, so that's how you can do that. Thank you all for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, follow the tips in the coronavirus webinar. They will definitely help you and also give you a better understanding of why you're being asked to do those things. So I totally recommend doing that as well. Cool. Thank you so much for watching. And if you know anyone who could benefit from any of this, feel free to share this video, send the link out to people. That would be fantastic. Cool. I will catch you all later. Bye-bye.